All right, folks, I was on my way back to my vehicle, and this is what I've encountered here. A continuation of this. Police making their way down Broad Street here, trying to disperse this crowd. Tear gas has been deployed. And a chaotic scene. This rally had now protesters continuing to launch fireworks. This is a dangerous situation, folks. No question about it. Tear gas certainly has been deployed, David. And a dangerous situation. This is the third part of this event after yeah, right, Debbie, I gotta get some riot gear, apparently. And folks, you gotta wonder where this response comes from. The context of which certainly relates to the months upon months of ATV and moped riders making their way through the city. Mayor Lorza crushing many of these vehicles. And now you wonder if this incident on Sunday, the culmination of that crackdown, and we were on our way back to our vehicle, several of us journalists, when we encountered this scenario here. You can smell burnt rubber. Smoke from fireworks and tires. And a joint effort by state and Providence Police here to clear this scene. Protesters continuing to set off fireworks. A chaotic scene here in Providence as this rally, which began as a peaceful demonstration at the Elmwood Library, quickly turned into a march on Providence Police headquarters. From there, things began to escalate, primarily after a protester tossed fireworks at the police. And now, as the protesters make their way back through the south portion of the city, state and Providence Police have met them there with K-9 units, tear gas, and riot gear. They in turn being met with fireworks. And this is an extremely dangerous situation. This is BTOWN's live coverage of the Justice for Jhamal rally that has quickly turned into a dangerous showdown between police and protesters. And I'll have photos and a recap of this whole evening later on all social media channels. We'll also be live tomorrow with Mayor Elorza and then Governor Raimondo. Mayor Elorza and company at 11, Governor Raimondo at 1 p.m. You can also watch that here on my Facebook. Alana, this is a protest that is coming on the heels of a 24-year-old male who appeared to have been struck by a police cruiser. He was a part of a 300-plus person motorbike and ATV group that was riding through the city, actually multiple municipalities in Rhode Island on Sunday, that concluded with an altercation between, hold on a second here, police and Mr. Gonsalves, Jhamal Gonsalves. He was in a video, several videos, and reviewing evidence. It does appear that he was struck by the police cruiser, but an investigation is ongoing. Mayor Elorza calling upon the FBI to take a look at this. I talked to Attorney General Peter Nerone yesterday. Their office is looking at this. And right now, just trying to make our way back to our vehicles, several journalists, myself, Steve Klampkin, WPRO, Madeline List of the Providence Journal, Steve Alquist, Uprise, Rhode Island. We were all trying to make our way back to our vehicles parked further down on Elmwood Avenue, and came upon this scene that you're witnessing right here.
They won't be beeping anymore.
So if you're just tuning in right now, this is part 3 of a series of videos that I've been posting all night. This is an absolute...
What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? This is an absolute breakdown here at this point as the protesters confronting police officers and vice versa. We're trying to make our way through the back roads. Luckily, I know my way around here. You're welcome, Alana. And we'll see if we can make our way back to Elmwood Avenue. Holy Moses, folks. The situation rapidly evolving this evening here. And look, you know, it was a peaceful event without question, for the most part, until we started to see fireworks tossed by again, I want to emphasize, folks, let's be honest, it was a select small group of the protesters that engaged the police with fireworks. And I was actually live on the radio doing a report live on air when the story was kind of, hey, you know what, this is and has been a fairly peaceful protest, getting the message out that, hey, look, number one, this investigation into this matter needs to speed up, and number two, in general, community voices need to be put front and center in matters of this sort. Well, as I was on the phone doing my call-in report live on the radio, all of a sudden a firework was tossed at a police officer. And that continued for a few moments before finally state police intervened. And by the way, folks, we're at Lockwood and Broad Street right now. Making my way back on foot through the south side here to where my vehicle is, the location of which I won't disclose. Got my earplugs in, but somebody was telling me, a buddy of mine, Joe, a friend and a loyal listener to the program, he was telling me he wanted to get me fit for riot gear. Not just for this event, but in general. And I'll tell you right now, we're gonna consider that one here, folks, at BTOWN, because can't get much closer than I am right now without being clad in a more significant set of clothes. Now ATVs and motorbikes scattering. I see them. I'm walking down Broad Street here. I'm going to make my way back across. The distinct smell of burnt rubber, smoke in the air. And again, Providence and State Police engaged with a handful of these protesters that were in a bit of a chaotic situation. Yeah, I'm safe. I'm doing, I think, the safer thing right now by getting away. I mean, I was pretty close, admittedly, and getting the hell out of the way right now. How much fog there is tonight, adding to the vibe, if you will. And wow, what a scene tonight, folks. And you know what's going to be interesting? I really want to see how the Channel 10s, the Channel 12s, I want to see how they report this. I want to see how they describe it, because I think it's really important to note that this was a peaceful event. What do I feel the progress of this protest? I think that there was progress made from the perspective of organizations in the state demonstrating that they can organize quickly and in large numbers and do so without getting on the highway and things of that sort. What we saw last week, we saw the ProvX kids get on the highway. Well, I'm getting a message that Facebook is blocking the live stream. Interesting, from some people. Well, we got, that's interesting, because I see there's about 50 people on here now. That's fascinating. We're going to look into that as well. But what I really want to know, like I was about to say, is, and it's, Gina, of course, when I decided to do this, it wasn't just for, the high fives and so forth. Okay, I'm glad, Judith, you're still here. Okay, that's great to know. We got to go all in on this. And what I was about to say is that I just want to see how this is covered, I want to see how this is covered. Now, I know Brian Crandall, he was here for Channel 10. He's a great reporter. And he and I were talking before this all got started. He knows the players, right? It's not really the protesters and the police, okay? You've got a nuance here where tonight you had some people who elevated this and were tossing fireworks at the police, right? You had some people on dirt bikes who were putting on a bit of a demonstration, okay? And okay, I'm glad to hear that you guys are able to hear. That's good to know. At least some of the audience were okay with. But you know, and by the way, folks, I'm pretty far away from. I'm making my way back towards Elmwood Avenue, but now I'm a few blocks south of where this is going on. And geez, boy, the showdown is so much more than just right versus wrong, left versus right, aggressive versus passive. This is a case-by-case basis of a person A decides to act out in a more aggressive manner on either side, whether that be on the police side, whether that be on the protester side. I think you saw that with the police officer, the 6-year police veteran, that, in my opinion, it really looks like, without question, completely overreacted in the pursuit of Mr. Gonsalves on Sunday. You know, especially when you examine the fact that turning onto a one-way street, you know, you've got the blockade already in place. Why go on the sidewalk after a guy on a motorcycle in any situation, right? So you got to ask yourself that. But then at the same time, why throw fireworks at police tonight, you know, when you have a demonstration that seems like it's heading in a building momentum, building consensus? So it's a tough one. Yeah, my position on that, I mean, and look, I went down to the site of the crash. I've examined footage. I've examined photographs. We've got requests for body cam footage out right now. I've talked to Mayor Elorza. I've talked to Attorney General Nerona. I've talked to Chief Clements. I've talked to Commissioner Perry. Okay? And that's how I've come to that conclusion. All right? And there's going to be another announcement tomorrow. They're bringing in the FBI to look at this. They got the Attorney General looking at it. They're not doing that because of an accident. Okay? Yeah, people act on emotions, not reason. And I think that in some cases that's right. You think about the artist side, you know, that is, you know, that the emotional aspect of things is super important. But when you're talking about action before an election, trying to understand how to dial things back down so something can be done, you're right. The emotion can get in the way. I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. So I think that's it for tonight. I'm almost back to my vehicle, the Blackbird, as we call it, and gonna go post some photos on Instagram and take a step back. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock with Mayor Elorza and company, and then 1 o'clock live with Governor Raimondo and company, her cadre of assistants and associates. There's a lot to talk about. And be safe out there, folks. I mean, if you're in Providence right now, this is not over. There are still remnants going on, but until tomorrow, we'll talk soon.